It's a tough place to be in when you have this old identity that you're in the middle of letting go of. You've done the inner work, you've become aware, you've seen the patterns, you know what you're no longer wanting in your life, and you see the path forward, you see where you want to go, but you're oscillating in between these two positions. And I want to talk about what that can bring up in your body and in your inner world. I'm Jeannie. Welcome to Move with Soul. This is the podcast where we talk about somatic embodiment and how to use your body as your guide through life, all inspired by the weekly astrological transit. So whether you're tuning in for this first week of March 2025 or because the topic has resonated with you, trust that. Now we have a once in a lifetime Pisces lineup. We have Saturn, we have the North Node, we have Venus, we have Mercury, we have Neptune, we have, I think, even something else. No, that's it. All in Pisces, right there, right about to go into Aries, some of these points for the first times in our lifetime, all together at the same moment in the world. What the heck? This is pretty wild. All this boils down to, as Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, it's the most spiritual. It's the one that we can't really hold, but we can feel the greater sense of knowing that the universe is out there, having our back, supporting us, guiding us. We're existing in it, but we can't quite put it into words or this tangible thing. It's more like a knowing that is the elusive, dreamy, spiritual Pisces. And with that, when you have to put your trust in the greater universe at large, there's this surrendering happening. It has a big time signature of letting go, loss, and death. You know, how do we explain when somebody goes from a living, breathing body into the next world, the next lifetime? They transition out. We know it. We know it's true. We can see it. We can feel it. We can feel the grief, but we can't quite hold it in our hands. That is the Pisces energy. So it's showing up in the collective, but how is it showing up for you personally? What are you saying goodbye to in your life right now? Whether it's a way of being, a habit, an environment, a way of thinking. How about your food choices? How about the way you're looking after your body? What needs to go? What needs to die? What needs to be let go of so you can have that new beginning that's right around the corner when all this ends up moving into Aries, which is going to start to do so by the end of the month. So this ending, this letting go is getting louder and louder and louder. How are you reacting to it? Are you gripping? Are you wanting to hold on for dear life? Are you excited about it? Are you celebrating it? Are you looking back on everything you've done, how far you've come, all the work and moments and ups and downs that you put into being in this point, right here, right now? Are you celebrating it and ready to move on to the next? Now, specifically in this episode, I want to talk about how difficult it can be to be on the precipice of a big ending and a new beginning. It's like that point where you're just about to step, you're in midair, and everything feels pretty uncertain and exciting and weird and up and down and everything in between. This comes up a lot in the client sessions that I do because the people that I tend to work with are in this point where they've seen, they've been there, they've done that, they want this new thing, and I help them walk through this transition moment. So I see this come up a lot. And what ends up happening is this self-bereavement inner critic comes up so strong and so loud. This like, I know better, but I know better. I've been through this. I'm so sick of this. I just want to be here, but I keep flipping back into these old habits, this old paradigm, this old identity. How am I supposed to deserve this when I'm still acting like this? But what if the more you're focused on those little flip back, flip ups, the more it keeps you where you were? In order to move forward, what if the key was finding that acceptance and self-compassion for you and where you've been and what you've done? You can propel yourself forward into the next thing that is so deeply, deeply meant for you. What if instead of plugging in and focusing on that past stuff, the old way of being that you no longer are, but you kind of flip-flop back and forth because that's natural when you're going through a big transition, what if you unplugged there and plugged into the moment of this free fall right here, right now? What would that look like? What would that feel like in your body? Because yes, we are guided. Yes, we are on this path, but we also have free will and free choice. It could even look like instead of a slip back and you're like, oh, I so really want to be in this next thing. And I did this behavior again. And here I go again with this bullshit. Or it could look like an attachment, or these attachments that you might have had could be coming back up to the moment, screaming at you for dear life, whether it's the sugar, it's the relationships, it's the, saying yes when you really want to say no. It could be whatever it is, whatever pattern of behavior that you're ready to leave behind, it's not serving you. This could be come up in the form of these final tests, these final, like knocking on your door, like, are you really going to choose this? Or are you going to stay with me where you're comfortable? The pep talk. But like being real with you, it is so uncomfortable to be in that in between. Like, this new thing is here. You can't quite see it. You can't quite put it into words, but it's there. You can feel it. But certain things in your reality are still reminding you that you haven't quite jumped into this new timeline yet, or this new life, this new reality. What can you do for yourself in the moment when you have that inner critic coming on so strong and so loud, telling you you deserve to be there, not here? And how can you celebrate the in between? What shifts need to happen now in this transition time so you can set yourself up for success for this new beginning that's right around the corner? Simple things that you can do when you're in the moment is breathing, coming back to your breath, coming back to your body. Can you spend 3 minutes a day putting your hands on your heart and just following your breath in and out? That's going to bring you right back to the present moment. So you're neither here nor there. You are here in your seat, in your body, in your legs, in your feet, feeling grounded right where you are. Sometimes we can get so passed up between past and present and self-improvement and, I don't want to spend time with these people anymore. I'm sick of this and I know this new thing is coming. But how can you align yourself with what you really want and what is true for you now, so that when the job or the friends or the relationship or the opportunities and the environment presents itself, because Pisces is that trust. Pisces is the trust in divine timing. And then we also have a lot of Virgo's energy right now as well, which is the how, which is the structure, which is the discipline, which are the practical steps that you need to take so you can be ready for when those divine timing things, all that new beginning, that Aries zest, the beginning is ready for you. So the medicine is when you're in these in-between times and you have certain things in your reality that are reminding you that you're in this transition, rather than an A to B, you're in the gray area, is to just be present and come back to your body, settle your nervous system, settle your breath. Focus on what you can control. Focus on the things that are giving you life, like going out and being in nature, listening to good music that uplifts your mood, because it's real easy to get plugged back and sucked back into the things that you just know are not for you anymore. And then even though you might not know what is for you yet, or you might see it, but you can't quite reach it yet, how can you prepare your frequency, your body, your energy to be a match for it when it's ready to come in? And the final piece of this transition, this change, are you holding space for your grief? Or are you keeping yourself so busy that you can't think about it? Numb, pick up the phone, pick up the sugar or the alcohol or whatever those things are that have soothed your system in the past that you're ready to let go of. You're like, I don't want that shit anymore. Instead of doing that, can you let yourself be sad? Have you grieved the friends that you don't connect with anymore? Have you grieved the environment that just does not resonate, or the job or the plans or the goals that once gave you the biggest amount of hope and purpose that might have fallen away? How can you release your grip on these things that you have identified with in the past, where you felt like they were worth it or they meant that you were worth something, that are trying to fall away? I mean, this requires you to get so completely real with yourself, but it's in the energy, and we're all going through it. We're all going through it. So you have a choice. And how can you ground yourself enough to realize that you have a choice, recognize where you might be making that choice from a place of old identity or what you're ready to step into next. And how can you hold space for your emotions, all the sadness and excitement and joy and everything that comes up in these big transition times. And the more you let yourself feel it now, the less it's going to show up later and later and later in these same old repeating patterns that you are sick of. You and I both know you're done with that. So I would love to know, I'm so curious, what is falling away for you now? Where are you taking that step from in your life? And how does it feel? How does it feel in your body, in your nervous system? Is it showing up in your friendships, your relationships, your food choices, your routines, your goals and desires? Let me know in the comments and we can support each other through this big transition ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll leave more information about me and my offerings down below, and I'll see you next week.